So welcome to today's episode. So today I'm going to take you for a short drive around where I am here in Costa Rica, because I got a question the other day in the comments. I did a video about what it's like living here in Costa Rica, and someone asked me, they said, you know, I'm thinking about coming to Costa Rica and purchasing a property. How far would $200,000 to $300,000 get me? Would that give me a house, an apartment? What would that get me? My honest answer is I have no idea. My experience to investing in Costa Rica is what you see here. It's the one property which I've been involved in now for a number of years. But I've never bought a house, never bought an apartment. So it got me curious and I started looking around the area. If you've always wondered how much would it cost to live on the beach in Costa Rica or up in the mountains a little bit with an ocean view, let's go have a look. Come here. In here. In. Hey guys, so I'm in my car. We're going to go have a look at some land nearby. I'm going to show you around and show you what are the typical prices and what can you get here in Costa Rica. So let's go. So years ago I actually looked at this house up on a hill and I was considering getting involved. I never did. I'm glad I didn't. But yeah, it's a nice house. It just needs a lot of work. That's the house up there. You can't really see it very well from here. For sale. Okay, so that's for sale, all or part. And see, this is the sad part when you see this. Someone at some point spent a lot of money here, and then to see it in this state, just getting completely overgrown. Look at nature just taking over it. Look at that. You know, someone was almost there. They had all the concrete walls in. You got a steel frame for the roof. It's probably been sitting there like that for years, and you have these trees now taking over. Look at that, all the tiles on the roof have come off. So depending on what your background is, if you have a background in construction and you speak Spanish, that's a big part of it, you might be ambitious enough to come and find one of these places and fix them up. But I would be careful. I would be very careful. So you've got houses in here, you've got empty plots of land like this, just waiting for someone to come along, and someone's probably trying to sell this. Yes, they are. See that? For sale. So there's plenty of land, and there's the infrastructure here. There's roads. There's having bitumen, as we call it in Australia, or asphalt. Look at that. That's for sale. Right there. Having the bitumen or asphalt, that's a big plus, because around the resort, the roads to get to the resort, we don't even have asphalt. And so that counts for a lot. You've got all your electricity in here. And look at this, plots of land for sale. Here's another one. Look at this, for sale. And out there, for sale. One point they had security in here, so that's long gone. I mean, this was a pretty ambitious project, but for whatever reason, it never really saw its full potential. And Costa Rica is full of developments like this, where they were started and they didn't go quite as planned for whatever reason, and so you know, you can get some pretty good deals if you look around. But that's the key lesson from this. You've got to really look around, because I mean, there's no shortage of supply. And I'm not giving you real estate advice here. I don't have a whole lot of experience in Costa Rica except with the one property, but I do know there's a lot available, and I know you can get some incredible deals if you look around and you're patient. So this just goes on and on. It goes deep into the country, away from the ocean, and who knows, maybe one day there will be a lot of land, a lot of houses built here, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. Now, behind those power lines, you can't see it very well, but there's actually the ocean. You can see the ocean from here. So this is the attraction. If you build on this side of the highway, then you can see the ocean. Or you could just be on the beach like I am, and you'd have it right in front of you. But if you can't get on the beach, this is probably the next best thing, being up on one of these hills and seeing that ocean without the power lines in front of it. Costa Rica is probably one of the best places if you wanted to farm livestock, because look how green it is. I mean, there's so much rain here, and the vegetation is just so fertile. In Australia, where I'm from, at least the part that I'm from, you know, it's very, very dry, but here in Costa Rica, it is very humid. It rains a lot. Not all year long. I mean, you have the dry season. The dry season can go on for, I think, probably 4 months or more, where it won't rain at all. But during the wet season, which we're heading into now, it will rain every single day, multiple times, and it really comes down. So it's a really fertile place for farms. Funny thing is, I remember coming here almost 4 years ago and going inside that house, and I believe it was on the market back then as well. So there's plenty of options here. That's for sale in there as well. For sale as well. Even that house you see up there, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a for sale sign on it as well. And I actually went and looked at that like 3 or 4 years ago when I first came here. So as you can see, there's no shortage of houses or apartments for sale. You've got plenty of options. My suggestion, this is not investment advice, but my suggestion to you is take your time. If you're thinking about getting a house or property in Costa Rica, come live here for a few months. So you can rent short term, you can find some great deals on Airbnb. There's also some good hotels which are pretty cheap as well. But live here for a while, get to know the area, go and have a look at all the properties, and you will see that there's a lot of options on the market, especially right now with all the fear around this coronavirus and what it's going to do to travel and tourism. You're going to be in a really strong position to get some good deals. Don't be in too much of a rush. Take your time, look around, speak to multiple real estate agents. There's real estate agents in the town of Jaco, so you can just walk into any one of them and just tell them, hey, I want to see some houses, apartments on the beach or nearby. Can you show me around? And they'll happily show you around. They could definitely use the business right now with what's going on with the economy here and most places around the world. So you will have a lot of different options. And some of these places have been on the market for 3 years, 5 years or longer. So you're in a very good position to get a great deal. The other thing I would say is don't rush into it. Really, don't rush into it and look at a lot of different options. Talk to different real estate agents. If you wanted to get a place somewhere on the beach where I am, for example, Esterillos Estate, you've got Jaco on one side, about a 25 minute drive away. And then you've got Manuel Antonio, which is a national park about 40 minutes in the other direction. So all along that whole strip of beach, there's properties available. Now, obviously, if you want to get a property in a tourist town like Jaco or Manuel Antonio, you are going to pay more because you're closer to facilities like restaurants, hotels, etc. But if you want to live in a more private beach, then you might consider somewhere halfway between the two. Like where I am now, Esterillos Estate, it is much more quiet. You've got this beautiful view. So if you wanted to retire here and just live peacefully, yeah, this could be an option. It could be. This is a buyer's market. Just remember that right now, if you're a buyer, everything is on your side. So you can get some very good deals. Now, if you do want to own beachfront land, here's what you got to remember. It's concession land. In other words, you don't own it. The government owns it and you're simply leasing it from them. Now, typically, here in Costa Rica, it's a 25-year lease. So if you purchase beachfront land from someone else, check how many years are left on the lease. It's either going to be 25 or less. It could even be 1 or 2 years. Now, what happens when that lease expires? Well, it automatically renews for the current owner. So if you have that fear of like, oh, I don't want to buy this beachfront land and then they take it away from me, I get it. I had the same fear. But I've spoken to a lot of people and that never happens unless you don't pay the rent. You have to pay the lease payments, obviously. Now, how much are the lease payments? Well, that depends on the size, the location of the property, depends on a lot of things. It could be a few $1,000s a year, could be a lot more. It could be tens of thousands of dollars per year. It could even be a lot more than that if it's in a prime location. I was looking online and I saw this big beachfront plot of land in Jaco, which is the tourist town about 30 minutes away from here, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. And they wanted like $12 million for it, but it was freehold. You see, there is beachfront land in certain locations, like in Jaco, different parts. It's rare where it is freehold. In other words, you buy it, you own it, it's yours forever. And you are gonna pay a premium for that. But that piece of land, for all of those millions of dollars, that was a big piece of land, like far bigger than what you see behind me, much bigger. If you purchase a piece of beachfront land anywhere else, I mean, prices are gonna vary a lot. They really will. But you are gonna pay a premium, even though it's a lease, it's concession. Being on the beach, anywhere in the world, you're gonna pay a premium for that. A lot of people are hesitant to purchase concession land, to lease land. And I was the same way. I've now done it a couple times in my life. I've done it here in Costa Rica. I've also done it in Fiji. In Fiji, they're 99-year leases, not 25 years. And You know, like anyone, I wanted to own. Anyone buying land, you want to own it forever. But really, the way you got to look at it is, we're all going to die someday, and what do you care whether it's a lease or you own it forever? Sure, you might want to pass it on to your kids, but very rarely are you going to keep a piece of property in your family for that long anyway. You don't know what's going to happen 5 years, 10 years from now. So I personally, I'm very open to the idea of purchasing concession land, as long as the laws in that particular country protect me as an investor, and I'm not going to have that property taken away from me when the lease ends, then I'm okay with it. And here in Costa Rica, when it comes to getting concession land, beachfront, you're pretty safe. You really are. So you've got to be careful. I know I keep saying this, but take your time. Don't rush into a deal. Come and live here for a few months and really get to know your way around the area. Talk to the locals. Keep in mind, some of them might have a vested interest if they're getting something out of the deal, or they see an opportunity to get something out of the deal. But just talk to a lot of people and ask them about what's it like to really live here. Is it safe? Talk to other foreigners who've lived there for a while. Ask them what do they like about it, but also what don't they like, and what do they wish they had known before they came there. And as long as they're not selling and they don't have a vested interest in telling you something different, they'll tell you. But just talk to a lot of people and really take your time. I know that sounds like common sense, and I would say the same thing whatever country you're going into, but this is a great time if you are a buyer to be patient and really look around and make sure you're getting a great deal. So by the way, I'm recording this on the beach right now, and I want to show you what's behind the camera, because this is quite incredible. So, sorry about all the shake there, but this is why people want to live on the beach here. So, the sun sets over in this direction, and this is what the beach looks like when the tide is in. But it's a very nice beach, and around this time, around sunset, this is my favorite time in Costa Rica. I don't like the middle of the day when it's incredibly hot, sweaty, humid, but I love this time of the day from about 4 to 6 p.m. Things cool down, nature comes out, and it's just a really nice time. So it's not a bad lifestyle. If you speak Spanish, that's going to be a big plus, but you can get by without Spanish. I've pretty much given up on trying to learn Spanish. I've been here now for a number of years, coming in and out. In the past year, I've spent a lot of time here, and it's the kind of thing where unless you're practicing it daily, which I'm just not, because I don't have to, I can get by with different people translating for me, but unless you practice daily, you're just not going to pick it up. But if you are going to live here, I would make a real effort to learn Spanish, even if it's just conversational Spanish. It will help a lot. There's a bit of a misperception that if you're coming from the USA or some other similar country, that you must have money. So don't be surprised if they ask you for a higher price when you're looking at different options for land. What you might consider doing is getting an attorney that you can trust, one that lives here, and that's also a little bit challenging too. Find someone that you really can trust and have them do the initial reaching out. But just be careful with that as well. So I hope that's been of some use to you. If you want to know any more, just leave me a comment below. And if you want me to make any videos about any other aspect of living here in Costa Rica, something you're perhaps curious about, just leave me a comment. Okay, speak soon. I'll see you tomorrow.